see the video, oh, thank you, Mike, yeah. And as long as you can see the video, though, guys, and like complete your notes, the guided notes, we can do it like that. So, what we're going to do, we're going to do today, actually, here's two announcements first. We're going to look at this, like how to use words in coding today. Next work class, we're going to go do our PAT. Also, as you guys know, Dan and I are also, and Brandon and Kylie, we're also students as well as teachers. We're like basically in college. We graduated from advanced college basically. And part of our teachers, they kind of give us a lot of feedback on our teaching, tell us how to get a little bit better. So that's why I'm taking a video. It will not go anywhere between me and a teacher. That's the only people who will see it. It will not go on YouTube. It will not go online. So don't worry about that. I just want to tell you guys that. It just ways to how we can have a better class, just so we can get feedback on that. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to watch this video, and we're going to try to look at our notes real quick.
So we've been doing a lot of drawing so far, but we haven't talked about something as simple as, say, writing your name. That's what this lesson is about, text. So why might we want to use text? Well, maybe we want to show the story in a game, or have characters talk, or we make our name grow and shrink and change colors. So let's go ahead and try to say hello. Say text, hello. And we have this weird error message that pops up, saying that hello is not defined. What does that mean? Well, the problem is that the program thinks that hello is a variable. And that kind of makes sense from the program's perspective, because maybe hello could be a variable. How would it know? So how do we tell our program that it's actually text? So that's easy. We just have to put those quotation marks around it. And that says that no, this is not a variable. In fact, this is text. I want you to display this text. And you can remember this by thinking of a book, where all the characters talk, and there are quotes around what they're saying. And similarly, when you want the program to say something, that text has to have these quotes around it. And this is actually really important and easy.
Let's stop right there. Number one, text is important using coding so that we can what? What kind of things? There's like 3 or 4 things you can put. What kind of things can we put with text? Like words. Maybe on the papers. All right then. Oops, sorry about that. Comma. That's great. Don't worry about that. Here you go. You need to get extra. All right. What can we do? What kind of text? Hello, right? Also, if you go back to this part, see, so we can keep like score and stuff. If you're playing a game or making like watching a movie online, people use words and text, right? Even for basic stuff like that. So maybe if you're making a game and you want to put the score of something, you can do that. Those are all some answers. I don't have a pencil or a pen. Yeah, make sure bring one of those. Oh, that's good. Let's write that down because to keep score of something. It can be used to make words appear on the screen. If you're making a movie or a game, all those things are acceptable. And so read question number 2, please. RJ, can you read question number 2, please?
So now we can find this program we can put around. What can we put around it?
All right, then that's our next question.
Quotation marks.
Yep. Danae's got quotation marks, right? We need to put those quotation marks around, so otherwise it's not going to help against an error message. Let's make sure we have those things.
Didn't mess up. So
Okay, nice. So we got that? Okay, let's see how else we can make sure. Because we're still got problems. Namely, it's kind of a blank screen still, even though we put that hello.
So I'm just going to say it again. Anytime you want to use text in your program, you always have to use these quotation marks around it. Otherwise, you're going to get some really weird error messages. And remember, if you do see those weird error messages, just be sure to double check that you are remembering to use quotes. Great. So now we're using quotation marks so we don't get an error anymore. But you might have noticed that nothing's happening, and it's still blank. But what is kind of strange is if we set a background, something, say just a red, then we see that it is actually there, it's just in white. So the problem is, if we think about it, that we were writing white text onto a white background, and that's why we couldn't see it. So that seems a little bit silly. Why are we writing white text on a white background? Well, we can just change it because we learned how to set the fill of something. And just like we can set the fill of a rectangle or a line, we can set the fill of text to anything.
All right, we got 2 ways to make it appear then. Let's look at those 2 ways. What was the first way? What was one way to make your text appear on the screen? Background, right? We got background. You can change the background color. What's the second way?
Fill it.
Yep, fill it in. Exactly, you guys got it. Let's put both those ways down so we know them both. Let's put both ways down. You guys okay? This would be a good guide for you guys to do next. You got both written down for number 3? Right here, this question. How do you make sure you put once you use quotations? Everyone's got those 2 things. We got fill, we have background. Some of the old stuff we saw a few weeks ago, you can use it for other stuff too. Oh, don't do that.
What's it for?
Scott, they called me, they were asking.
I'm sorry.
You like to do something. Okay, let's watch this.
Just like before. And then there it is. It shows up without needing the background. So let's look a little bit more to how this text thing is working. The first part is obvious enough. It's just whatever text we want to write. The next part, if we change it, we can see that it's basically just how far over, and the next one is just how far up and down. That part looks really familiar from when we were just drawing rectangles. One thing that's a little bit tricky is that text has these 2 coordinates specify the lower left part, so this corner of the text, while with rectangles it's the upper left, this corner. And that can seem like it was just designed to confuse you, but it's just something you kind of have to remember. And we can even experiment and see it for ourselves by we can set this to say height, and we can see that, yeah, it is. It's setting the height to be this lower left coordinate.
Just use numbers.
Or we can set it to 0, and you can think, what should we expect then? And we don't see it at all, but if we slowly start increasing this, we can see that, yeah, it is kind of just like peeking out there. Because again, that lower left coordinate is what we're specifying, not the upper left. Okay, so enough of analyzing this text thing. Let's go ahead and make it better. For example, let's start to make it bigger. We can do that with text size, which just tells the program how big to draw the text. And we can make it 30, which is pretty big. We can make it even bigger, or we can make it really, 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 really small, whatever we want. So let's go ahead and draw your name, and maybe a little message.
All right, so let's do for that question. How can I make my text size bigger? Yep, pretty much just text size, just like right here. Actually, I'll even put that on our document right here. I'll make it. Let me actually put that up here to make that bigger. That's pretty small, I think. Here we have it. You want to remember, right up here I have it in big letters. The number there is like up to you though. You can put anything you want in this number. You want to put 300 as text size, you can make it 300. It's up to you. Because, I mean, I was kind of squinting when I saw that. It kind of starts off a little small when you do that. Oh, any questions? All right. Sorry. Number 1. Who got number 1? Text importance using coding solution to what? Yeah. Well, yeah, you can make like words appear. I did that. Yes.
What's number 3?
What's number 3? Let's go ahead. It's a good idea. Let's go over these. So what are 2 ways to make sure text appears once you use quotations? Background, so you have something like this. Type in. Don't make that big enough. That's way too small. Let's type in background like that. And then it'll give you some numbers to put in there usually. Or fill is another way. You can fill your text in with these 2 functions here. Background makes the background like change. Or fill, put that above like your words so you can change their colors. Those 2 things are going to help you out, I think. I'm going to give you guys the last one. String, I'm going to put that in there just in case you guys like see it in like any of the challenges we do. It just means text. What is a string? Just like text or words pretty much.
Oh, words?
Yeah, words, text, you know, that we use in coding. That's pretty much what string is. I'm going to give you guys that one. I just want to put that there just in case you guys see that. Your checklist I'm going to give out as you guys are finishing up. And much like we did before, you just scroll down and kind of like halfway, I'd say. Let me show you actually real quick. Here's just gonna wrap here. Let me show you guys where to go, because we're skipping a couple of sections actually. We're going right here, text and string. It's almost halfway down, I think. And you guys are gonna do My Favorite Foods challenge first. For the last one, you guys can definitely partner with people if you want. The last challenge, like the challenge today, is kind of difficult.
Yes.
I'll only count it as extra credit. This last one on the checklist I'm giving you guys.
Chris, what do we do with
Oh,
text and string?
we're gonna do My Favorite Foods and passing around a checklist right now, actually. That'll like help guide you guys.